So we're gonna make little hand pies.
Yes,
So
we're
we can take
making
them.
Ma's dried apple and
Mom's
raisin.
dried apple and raisin hand pies. So of course we could do fresh apples, but there's actually something really nice about baking with dried fruit because the flavor's really concentrated, and you get this really nice texture, I think. And then you don't have to peel and chop 1,000 apples.
I'm excited to try.
And we love that.
And we
So
chopped this.
Melissa already beautifully chopped our
About 3
dried
cups.
apples. These dried apples, and these are golden raisins that I just brought back from Greece a few days ago. So let's throw this all in the pot. Yeah, and then we're gonna pour boiling water over this to get them hydrated, and then we're gonna put it on the stove and cook them for only about 15 minutes. So in the book, they have you cook for like, what, 30, 40 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, with an
Because-
overnight soak. But
With an overnight soak.
that was, I think that was because Ma's dried apples were seriously dry, crunchy
Much
dry.
drier,
Yeah.
right? And these are, Trader Joe's soft dried apples. So we're gonna bring that up to a little bit of simmer, and then we'll let that go for like 15 minutes,
Yeah, maybe.
max.
Maybe.
Max.
Yeah.
Just to get them really plump. And then we're gonna add some garam masala to that because we all agreed here, the whole team, that we like our apples a little bit spicy, and I love to bake with garam masala. And we're gonna add a little extra pepper
Little
because
pepper,
we want to
tiny
jazz
bit
it
of
up.
salt.
Little salt for sure, and some lemon juice from the lemon that I brought back from Greece.
Smuggled out from
Illegally because I couldn't believe there were lemons growing on
Shh,
trees.
don't say the fruit police are going
I
to come
know,
and
right?
take you away.
The USDA and the TSA are gonna come. So as soon as those are ready, we'll pull them off and we'll do that. So hold on.
If we all break out from some horrible Greek lemon disease, it's your
Greek lemon
fault.
disease. No, we ate them the whole time. Look how they're like swelling up. That looks great. The apples
Yeah,
are like
they're getting
coming
juicy
back to
again.
life, reconstituted. Yeah, and the raisins are swelling up. And it's important when you bake with dried fruit to hydrate that fruit because otherwise the dried fruit sucks moisture out of your dough.
Oh
And
no!
leaves an air pocket.
No,
Yes.
not
Like if
after
you
all
make,
we went through.
like a raisin bread or a raisin bagel, you have to soak your fruit. So I think that one last little stir there and we're good. We could probably just shut it off. I don't think we even need to simmer. They feel scoop these out, right? So yeah, like look, they're like real apples now.
Yeah,
All swollen up.
all swelled up.
Yeah. So scoop those out,
They're
the apples and the
swole.
raisins. And then we'll add some spices to this. I think we should add a little bit of bourbon.
I think that Mr. Edwards would
Mr.
appreciate
Edwards
that.
would be very grateful.
We'll call it the Old Dan Tucker Tot.
Aw, I love Mr. Edwards.
Fuzzy too. Victor French was one of the best too, and
Seemed
funny,
like it.
funny human being.
Oh,
Greatly missed.
I'm sure.
Can we get these raisins out of here? Oh,
We'll leave no raisin behind.
No, leave no raisin before it's time. Oh, it's fantastic. Greek golden
Okay.
raisin.
There we go. Now this
Could.
be something.
Well, it says to pour it in your vinegar jug.
Okay, so add a little splash. So we're kind of going a little off book here because
Yeah.
this was, of course, written, in
Or
a
as the
different
Brits
time.
would say, off-piste.
Off-piste. A little splash of bourbon. And that'll burn off in the oven, so you won't taste the alcohol.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fragrant.
Some garam masala. So what I always say
We're
is,
not even measuring. We're just
like,
kinda...
I like to bake with garam masala because it's like pumpkin spice minus the Yankee Candle,
so true.
right? It's like
Yeah. It has, there's a depth
it's
to it
better.
too that's different.
It's spicier. It's more pungent. Yes. Let's add a little black pepper too, because we're spicy old ladies.
Yes, that we are.
Spicy
Spicy
ladies. A
little
little
meatballs.
salt. Very important when you bake anything sweet. Needs a little salt.
Always.
2 grains of salt from our Modern Prairian salt salad.
Yes.
Yay. And then some lemon.
I'm going to take a taste of this. We definitely don't need sugar.
No, it's pretty sweet. Okay, but we definitely should add some acid.
I would add some acid. Maybe, I don't know. Do we need a little bit of, like a teaspoon of sugar?
Yeah,
Okay.
because also the sugar is going to
I'm
make
going to give
it
it more garam masala.
juicier.
Yeah,
Okay.
true.
And you need lemon juice in there because when you cook fruit, it loses its acidity. So we bring it back with a little bit of heavy-handed there,
I know, I'm
Gilbert.
not excited.
Yeah,
Just because it's so...
it's okay. It's going to be really good.
Yeah, warm.
And then sugar is right there. We could do sugar, we could do honey, we could do maple syrup. But let's do sugar.
Okay.
Because
I
we
got
already
excited by maple syrup.
have a lot of
Are you
like,
okay with me diving in here?
we already have like a lot of depth, so. And the sugar's gonna make it juicier. And we're gonna add a little bit of flour because that's gonna help thicken the juices. So here, oh look, here's our flour. We're gonna add just a little sprinkle of flour, and that's just gonna help thicken, like that. And then we're gonna let this cool down because you don't wanna put hot fruit in cold dough because it makes the dough melt and makes the butter melt.
Of course it does.
Of course it does. So we're gonna just
You know, so much of this is, I know it seems like science and art, but then there's also logic. Like,
yeah, just
that.
obvious.
Yeah.
I would eat that. What do you think?
Yes, that's perfect.
Okay, so we're gonna let this cool down. Then we'll get our dough.
It's
and we'll roll it.
bourbon-y right now.
I know it's
Okay.
good. Woo, getting a little buzz.
Let's go drink the
Okay.
apples. See ya.
Okay, so our dough has chilled. Look how nice
It's very
it is.
chilled.
And you can see the butter.
You totally
That's
see the
what you
butter.
want, is you want to see the butter. Roll these out into circles, right? But they don't have to be perfect circles because life is not perfect. We don't want to stress ourselves out here.
Okay.
Okay, but here's
Thank
a little tip. You're welcome. Make it into a little circle first with your hands before you start rolling. So you give it the suggestion of a circle like that. And we're a little sticky because it's warm and humid in here today. So we'll get a little dusting of flour. My 7th grade home ec teacher, Mrs. Hanley, was from the South. And she used to say flare, flare, instead of flour. She'd go, measure your flare. So now I like to say flare. Yep. So now we're little circles. Now when we roll, proper way to roll, I'm sure you know this, growing up, you know, making pies and stuff on Prairie. But you always roll from the center outwards and then change direction. And you never roll down over your edge because that flattens out your edge. Right? So you keep rolling and turning and rolling and turning. And then you see how if you have like a wonky shape, you can push like
make
that.
it
Right.
be
You
the
can
shape.
use the end of your pin. And that's why I always say to people, use a real rolling pin like this. Don't use the kind of granny kind with the rolly handles.
Yeah, I don't like the handles.
No.
These
are
it
much
makes it
better.
hard to manipulate it.
Yeah. And this shape is the classic French tapered pin.
You're way more confident than I am, so I'm taking
Take
my
your time. Yeah. And if it starts to feel sticky, don't be afraid to add a little flour too.
Flare.
Flair.
Flair.
Mrs. Hanley would say, add flair.
Flare.
We were like, add flair? Okay.
Well, sure.
I'm gonna go about 1/8 of an inch thick, like 3 mil thick. You know, we like to translate for our metric listeners, metric speakers,
Yes. The metric people.
like everyone else in the world.
Right. Everyone's but America.
And mine is square. It's okay.
Mine's.
This is what I call circulish.
It is. It's circular.
Right, circulish. All right, let's get that filling and put some filling. Now we can go
Bring it to a side.
to a side.
Okay.
Right, as big or as small as we want to be here, and then we're gonna close them up. It's like making a turnover. Or a calzone, says Natalia
Or a
behind the
calzone.
camera.
Yes.
She never speaks. Suddenly she's speaking.
She's verbal.
And then we'll grab some forks from here. And of course we want to crimp our edges. And if it's like more dough around the edge than you like, you can always trim, of course.
Wet.
Like you could do a little, if your aesthetics are important, or if it's like tweaking you that it's not like nicely trimmed, you can always do that.
Oh, well.
Right.
And I
of
kind of
course,
like the rough,
that's great. I like
sort
that.
of very prairie.
You would save your pie crust scraps, of course, because nothing gets wasted. And then you take your fork and you do your little crimp.
I'm gonna do the rough version.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Yeah. Now, before we egg wash, we're gonna move them onto here because once they're egg washed, they'll be pretty sticky. Slather of egg wash. That makes it shiny. It's totally optional, but it looks nice. That one's got a little boogery
Yeah, it's
egg
a
white.
gloopy.
It's okay.
Because it's not for my chickens. If it was for my chickens, it would be perfect.
It would be perfect.
See how much prettier yours is? But mine's kind of funky.
It's okay. Yours is rustic.
Yeah, I went with the rustic look.
That's the word I always
that's
use.
me.
Rustic or artisanal.
I like artisanal too.
Yeah.
It makes it seem intentional.
Then you want to make some holes for steam because the fruit has water in it. And you could even do your little like Modern Prairie logo if you know.
If you were capable of it.
Yep.
Yes.
There you go.
I'm
Okay.
sure someone else could
Now
do
we
that.
want to chill again. It's important to
'Cause
chill
of the
your
butter.
butter again for the butter because it's warm in here. So we're going to chill these again while we make these other two, and then we'll bake.
Okay.
Okay. Here's our little hand pies.
It's a hand
I know, they're so cute.
The dried apple hand
Yeah,
pie.
we got a little bit of a crack there, but they look really cute.
Let's
So
see what
let's
it
break
looks like
in.
in the middle here.
Yeah, and we can put it in our little lunch pail, take it to school. Oh, they look good. Look at that flaky pastry.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Oh, the dough is so good. Yum. And it's a hand pie, so you're supposed to just like bite into it. Mmm.
That's not as dry as I thought it was going to be.
So good.
That is good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mmm. The spice.
The spice, but the crust.
The crust is really good. What we would call shatteringly crisp.
It is.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Good job, Melissa.
Well, thanks. Good job to you,
Yeah.
too.
This was so fun.
This was fun. Ma's dried apple and raisin hand pies.
Ma's dried apple. and
Made
raisin-
modern.
Made modern here in Brooklyn, our ancestral home of our people,
Mm-hmm.
not North Dakota,
Mm-mm.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.